will start my operations here and pull the rebels apart piece by piece. They'll be the architects of their own destruction.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Bits. Today I'm going to begin a two-part series on the history of Grand Admiral Thrawn in canon. Today I'm going to discuss his early years up to the time he became Grand Admiral in the Imperial Navy. He attended an academy of Rentor and became a merit adoptive of the Myth family after attracting the attention of the family's patriarch. Instead of being called Varon, he gained a new name, Myth Ra Nuru, Thrawn. He rose to the ranks and became well liked from some of his colleagues in the Chiss Ascendancy, but was disliked by politicians and members of the military. After his recruitment into the Myth family, Thrawn was transferred to the Thararim Academy in Naporor, the planet from where much of the Chiss expansionary defense fleet was commanded rather than Csilla. Prior to his journey from Rentor to Naporor aboard the Tomra, Thrawn had never flown in space. Thrawn wanted to learn the map and the feel of the ship, and ventured to a restricted area aboard the Tomra's bridge. There he met a sad 13-year-old girl named Aliatov. Unknown to Thrawn, Aliatov was a Skywalker navigator, nearing the end of her powers of third sight. The young girl was charged with navigating the Tomra to Naporor as a test of her retention of third sight, and required to tell any personnel not cleared to know of the existence of the Chiss navigators that she was the captain's daughter. Journeys within the Ascendancy were often used to test aging Skywalkers because travel within the Ascendancy was much safer than travel within the chaos at large. And if a navigator failed and steered their ship in the wrong direction, the helm officer could easily and safely correct their course. Aliatov was distraught at her failure to navigate to Naporor, but Thrawn comforted the young girl, telling her that a captain's daughter would have many possible career paths. Thrawn inspired her so deeply that she sought to be rematched to his Myth family after retiring from the Skywalker Corps. Years later, Aliatov had become a merit adoptive of the Myth, now named Myth Aliatov Thalas, and sought to travel with Thrawn just to see him again. As a student at Thararim Academy, Thrawn constantly scored among the top of his class. Eventually, Thrawn was accused of cheating on a combat simulation exam procured by senior cadet Irizarialani Ziara. Thrawn scored much higher on that exam than anyone in the history of the Thararim Academy, leading to the allegations. In reality, Thrawn was innocent, having invented a stealth maneuver during the simulation, which led to his exceptionally high score. However, the simulation could not be repeated with the same parameters, so Thrawn could not establish his innocence. Resigned to a fate of expulsion from the Academy, Thrawn was given a chance by Ziara, who called in General Bakif to intervene on Thrawn's behalf. Bakif proposed that if Thrawn would not establish his innocence through a simulation, a combat exercise with the same parameters should suffice. Indeed, Thrawn successfully executed his evasive maneuver in the ensuing exercise, establishing his innocence and displayed his strategic talents. Thrawn worked closely with Anakin Skywalker and his wife Padmé Amidala during the Clone Wars, sometime after Ahsoka Tano left the Jedi Order. Thrawn continued his exploration of the Outer Rim until sometime after the rise of the Galactic Empire he discovered a colony of refugees, Neimoidians. The colonists warned him of the tyranny of the Empire and pleaded with Thrawn to bring the full force of the Chiss Ascendancy against the Empire on Coruscant. Furthermore, they promised to help with the attack if it meant the revival of the Galactic Empire, the Galactic Republic. Thrawn refused their offer, but returned to the Chiss, intrigued. After his encounter with the Neimoidians, Thrawn returned to the Chiss Ascendancy seeking counsel, growing increasingly worried about the threat in the unknown regions. The Ascendancy ruled that the time had come to judge whether or not the Empire would be a suitable ally. Thrawn was given his mission. He would infiltrate the Empire in order to either make it an ally or weaken enough that it became easy prey for the threat, thereby shifting focus away from the Ascendancy. In order to carry out this mission, Thrawn proceeded to fake his exile. With the help of the Ascendancy and Aristocra, Thrawn chose a planet in wild space and set up a hut designed to look as though Thrawn had been living in it for years. When he left the Ascendancy, there were stirrings of political conflict, though Thrawn assumed the aristocrats would settle their differences as they had many times before. After several attempts and a few standard months spent on the planet, Thrawn finally managed to gain the attention of the Empire. Thrawn was brought before Park and Barras and Vanto. Using Vanto as a translator, Park asked whether Thrawn spoke Basic or Cybisti, to which Thrawn replied that he knew a fair bit of Basic, but was far more comfortable with Cybisti. Vanto served as Thrawn's translator for the remainder of the conversation as he told the Imperials of his exile and how he had crashed the V-Wings, attacked a camp unseen, and infiltrated the strike fast. The conversation impressed Park to the point that he decided to present Thrawn to Emperor Palpatine himself. For the rest of his passage to Coruscant, aboard the Strikefast, Thrawn spent his time in the company of Vanto. In addition to helping Thrawn with his Basic, Vanto told him the legend of the Chiss that he had heard growing up on Lysatra. Thrawn was amused by the legends, finding them interesting and informative, but at times false or over-exaggerated. The two also discussed the Empire, particularly the Empire's social hierarchy and the prejudices against aliens and those not from the core. Upon debarking from the shuttle, Thrawn and the Imperials were guided by two of Palpatine's personal royal guardsmen to the throne room. Once they had arrived before the Emperor, Park presented Thrawn as a gift to him. Thrawn, however, offered himself as not a gift, but a resource. He informed Palpatine that the Ascendancy had discovered a mysterious threat in the unknown regions, offering his information on the threat in exchange of the Empire's help, in hope of convincing Palpatine that he was to be trusted. Thrawn offered the name of Skywalker as someone who could vouch for him, believing Skywalker to be a servant to the Emperor. The Emperor informed Thrawn that Skywalker had died at the end of the Clone Wars, but also that Skywalker had spoken highly of him before he had died. Accepting Thrawn's offer for information on the unknown regions, the Emperor offered something else in return, a role in the Imperial Navy. Thrawn accepted on the condition that he was allowed to keep Vanto as his translator. Wishing to discuss the threat in the unknown regions further, Palpatine guided Thrawn to the privacy of his throne room's interior garden. Thrawn was impressed by the artistry of the garden, believing it to be indicative of power, subtlety, and depth of thought. Once within the garden, Thrawn and Palpatine discussed Palpatine's personal interest in the mysteries of the unknown regions. Palpatine decided that Thrawn did not need a translator, but agreed to give him Vanto anyway. Thrawn grew quickly through the ranks of the Imperial Navy, being made the rank of Grand Admiral after the Battle of Baton. Arriving on Coruscant, Thrawn made his way once more to the Emperor's throne room. In the throne room, Palpatine presented Thrawn with a new uniform, a white one with gold shoulder bars and a silver collar insignia, along with the rank insignia plaque indicating his promotion to Grand Admiral. Before he would take the promotion from the Emperor, however, Thrawn demanded to know about the Death Star. Thrawn explained that his concerns with the Death Star were twofold. He feared that Palpatine might use it against the Chiss, and believed that Palpatine was diverting too many resources that would be better served elsewhere into a single military project. Palpatine assured Thrawn that he had no plans to use the Death Star on the Chiss, mentioning that he had noticed that Thrawn had left the locations of Chiss worlds and bases off his maps of the unknown regions. The Emperor informed Thrawn that he did not begrudge the Admiral for seeking to protecting his people by leaving their locations off the map he provided. Additionally, he expressed complete confidence in the Death Star's ability to suppress all opposition, making it worth the cost. This said, Palpatine offered the Grand Admiral's rank plaque again. This time, Thrawn accepted. As he prepared to begin the campaign against the rebels of Phoenix Squadron, Thrawn decided it was finally time for he and Vanto to part ways. Pleased with the progress Vanto had made in the areas of tactics, leadership, and strategy, Thrawn believed that Vanto would be a perfect candidate for the Chiss Ascendancy's army. Gifting Vanto his journal, Thrawn directed Vanto to a set of coordinates in the unknown regions. These coordinates would bring Vanto to Admiral Aralani, to the Chiss expansionary defense fleet, to whom he came with greetings from Thrawn. Freshly promoted and having given Vanto the job he believed that Vanto deserved, Thrawn set off to combat Phoenix Squadron and the rebel cells of Lothal. This is the end of the first part of Grand Admiral Thrawn. In part 2 I will discuss his experiences fighting against the rebels in Lothal. Please click like if you liked the video, and also subscribe and click the notification bell in order to know when I upload my next video. Until the next time, may the Force be with you.